Italy, China sign accord deepening economic ties. Rome APU Italy signed a memorandum of understanding with China on Saturday supporting Beijing's belt. With the move, Italy becomes the first member of the group of 7 major economies, which includes the United States, to join the Belt and Road Program, following Portugal's embrace of the initiative in December. Italian Premier Giuseppe Conte and Chinese President Xi Jinping attended a ceremony in Rome where 29 separate protocols of the memorandum were signed by both governments in front of the flags of China, Italy, and the European Union. Luigi Di Maio, the Italian Minister of Economic Development, told reporters afterward that his country's goal is to increase exports to China in order to correct trade imbalances and boost Italian businesses and the country's troubled economy. He said the value of R. He said Italy now expects a. Italy's move appears to also be driven by hopes that Chinese investment in Italy's ports might help revive the country's traditional role as a key link in trade between the East and West. The signed accords are wide-ranging and include cooperation between banks, between a Chinese construction company and Italian ports, and the export of Italian fruit to China. The signing ceremony took place at the Villa Madama, a Renaissance villa designed by Raphael, where Xi was greeted with full honors on the second day of his 2-day visit to Italy. He then traveled to Italy's involvement in the Belt and Road Program gives China a crucial inroad into Western Europe and a symbolic boost in its economic tug-of-war with Washington, where President Donald Trump is challenging China over trade and other issues. The EU, however, is worried about unfair competition from Chinese companies, which are controlled by the Chinese government and benefit from the state's financial backing. EU leaders and some Italian government officials were critical of the deals, worried that Italy might be ceding national sovereignty in key strategic areas to Beijing. In a sign of opposition, Di Maio stressed that Italy remains firmly rooted in its alliance with the United States, NATO, and its European partners, but said Italy must also look out for its own economic interests. In response to concerns that the memorandum could open the way to colonization by China, Di Maio countered it would instead help goods manufactured in Italy to that. The Belt and Road project has so far seen investments totaling more than $1 trillion since its launch more than 5 years ago, and China says some 150 countries have signed agreements related to the project. Beijing has marketed the initiative as a way to give some of the world's neediest countries a leg up, helping them gain access to more trade and investment. But it also helps some governments, including the US, Japan, and India, worry that Beijing is trying to build a China-centered sphere of influence that undermines their own sway, pulling developing nations into infrastructure debt. China's official position is that Belt and Road Program is solely an economic initiative with no political motives. Xi said last
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.